Duke Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Sorry we were absent last week. I was sick and
I had been sick the week before that,
yeah.
And it was just kind of a tumble of things that snowballed together.
Yeah, where we live, we had a ton of snow the week before that, so, but we're glad to be back. Today we're talking about 2013's Age of Dinosaurs.
Which is a really stupid, goofy movie.
Well, and I was going to say, me and you have always made fun of this movie.
In a heartfelt way.
Right, I think this is only the second time I've ever seen it, but we've always kind of picked on this movie, and then when I was sitting there watching it the other day, I'm like, this really isn't that bad of a movie. Like, it's a low-budget movie, but the story is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Now, some of the graphics weren't, but...
That's what I was going to say. So, we looked it up beforehand, and you knew off the top of your head, but I double-checked to make sure, and you were right. Jurassic Park came out in 1993. And the graphics in this are so bad, like, worse... Like, Jurassic Park has pretty good CGI and stuff.
Yeah.
Way worse than that. And it's been, 30 years? Like, exactly?
Yeah.
Since
it would have been
between them?
20.
Oh, yeah, 20. Yeah.
Yeah, 93 to 13 is 20.
But even so, it's...
the dinosaurs in here were okay, though.
I wonder if parts of it they used, like, stock footage. It just was not good.
The flying ones, I'm not sure if they were velociraptors. I think that's what they were supposed to be.
The flying ones?
Yeah.
No, velociraptors.
Not velociraptors.
Pterodons.
Thank you.
They weren't pterodactyls, they were pterodons, because they specifically talk about them.
That I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way they look. But, so, anyway, I'm gonna let you do our spoiler-free review, and then we'll get more into the movie.
I mean, really, there's not much to say. It's basically just, dinosaurs get... I mean, modern day and dinosaurs start attacking people.
In a city.
Yeah, it's... Which one's... Is it... Lost World where the T-Rex comes back and is kind of rampaging through...
Lost World?
Isn't it Los Angeles that it's in?
I don't remember.
Or New York,
so
or...
long since I saw that.
Anyway, I know, same here. But anyway, whatever, it's either the second or third one where a T-Rex comes back and is, like, walking through and, there's a kid and his dog gets eaten and all that stuff.
No, I think that's the third one. No, it might be the second one.
But anyway, imagine that, but with more different kinds of dinosaurs. Yeah. And way worse graphics. But, so let's get into, like, spoiler territory.
So at one point early in the movie, they say they only did carnivores.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
They did. They did not say they only did carnivores. They said they started with the cool ones, carnivores.
Okay, because there was a long neck.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think they were carnivores.
So the way I understand it, we can just get into the movie. So do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
We're both excited that we haven't talked about a movie.
Yeah.
For a while, so. You go ahead and start.
Okay. Well, we meet our father and daughter main characters of this movie. I wrote the dad's name down somewhere, but it wasn't until partway through the movie. Dave, maybe? No, I think that's a different person. I don't know.
I don't remember his name. All I remember is Uncle Jack. Isn't it Uncle Jack?
Uncle Leo.
Uncle Leo.
So anyway, there's a father and then there's a daughter, and her name is Jane, and she's like mid-teens. Like, I think she's supposed to be like 16, or maybe late teens, like 16, 17-ish. Don't you think?
I thought she was younger because she says she can't drive. She doesn't know how to drive.
Well, I guess she does, yeah. So, still like mid-teen.
14, 15-ish.
Yeah.
I would lean probably.
But she looks older. Like, the actress that plays her is probably 20.
Yeah. But I thought she did a good job in the movie.
Oh, I agree. And I think a lot of it's not the best acting between those two, but I feel like they had a little bit of, like, chemistry as, like, father and daughter, and I feel like the dialogue that was written for them was very, like, realistic to how they would talk to each other, especially when she's, like, kind of in, like, her rebellious, but she's not, like...
That's what I was going to say.
She's not, like, overly disrespectful or anything, but she just kind of doesn't... She doesn't think her dad's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, like, they don't have the best relationship right now because of where she's at in life. But...
Well, not only that, she feels like he didn't have a whole lot to do with her childhood because he was so focused on his job. Yeah, and his job, I was going to say, his job was a firefighter, which comes back later.
Right? Was it New York?
I don't remember. I don't know if I wrote it down. I think so, because I think he's... Is it? NYFD doesn't sound right. Was it Los Angeles?
No, was a firefighter.
Yeah.
Which comes back into play later. Which
it's Hollywood. So
it is,
yes,
yeah.
yep,
Okay,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
So yeah, so it's LAFD is
Yeah.
what he is,
And
and
that one part at the end is so funny when he's.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna. This is later on in the movie, but they're up at the. There's something going on, and he walks up to the policeman, and they're like, "You can't be here." And he goes, "I'm LAPFD or
And
F."
FD, yeah.
FD, and he holds out his badge, and they're like, "Oh, okay, come on." And I'm
They
like, really?
they treat him like he's like Secret Service or
like
or like CIA or FBI, like
right, like.
um. Anyway, what I wrote for the father and daughter here, this is specifically what I wrote in my notes, was somewhat cute / believable.
Yeah, I think so.
So anyway, they're kind of talking back and forth, and the dad mentions, oh hey, I don't know if he says his name, but like Uncle Leo got us tickets to go see this like special event thing. I thought you might want to come. I don't remember if he says it has to do with dinosaurs or not yet.
I don't know. I know he kind of forces her to go.
Yeah, he kind of,
really
because she wants to go hang out with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And then I think does she end up mad at her boyfriend for some reason? So she ends up going with him.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
I thought he
it's not
kind of pushed her to go.
It's not super important, and not super important. But the dad and her are like driving to the place that they have. It's like a theater is where they're being taken to, that he like supposedly has tickets for through Uncle Leo. And Jane mentions like, oh, Mom always hated that you always left the gas out a quarter of a tank.
Yeah.
Which comes back into play later, but it's also they do a really good job of setting these characters up in a likable way and giving you exposition without it feeling like it's like just telling you everything.
Right.
Like, because a lot of bad movies, in my opinion, this is why this is like a good bad movie, is because a lot of bad movies, it's so boring and slog because they tell you everything.
Right.
Like, they just come out and say, oh yeah, like when Mom died,
yeah.
like stuff like
yeah.
lines like that, or in like when we did Graveyard Stories, there was a lot of dialogue that was like that, where it was just like, this is to tell you what is happening right now.
And you can't think that your audience is stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
and like this movie, the dialogue's very clever of being like, oh, Mom always hated, and that tells you was, so she's dead. Like, because you might be thinking divorce or something, but then you find out she's dead, and that makes a lot of sense as to why. And she was mostly raised by her mom, so they kind of have a strange relationship because he was so focused on his job. And we learned here that he was the first one furloughed. He was the first firefighter furloughed whenever they needed to make budget cuts or something. Or like, whatever.
Yeah.
Which that's like when you get leave with pay, right? Isn't it?
I don't know. I thought furloughed was without pay.
I thought it was with pay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, he was the first one furloughed, which again, going back to the thing where you said where he like flashes his badge, if he's furloughed, he's not on active duty.
Right.
And second of all, if he was the first one furloughed, he's probably not that good of a firefighter.
Right. I thought when they said that, I was like, what are you talking about?
Okay. And maybe it was like a seniority thing or something like that, where like he was the oldest one there, so they had to do him first or something. I don't know.
I don't think there's any explaining that part of it.
No, but that was just something that I picked up on. Oh, and this is another thing that really annoyed me about this movie. I understand within the context of the story, she's supposed to be like mid-teen, like 14, 15. First of all, she doesn't look that. Second of all, there's a different way you treat that age than like actual children. And everyone in this movie that's like not the dad and Uncle Leo treat her like she's like a 5-year-old child.
Right.
Like the way people talk about her and the way people talk to her, they treat her like she's like helpless.
And I thought one of the funny parts was later on when she screams and Uncle Leo looks at the dad and he's like, I heard that too. That was her. I'm like, really? How often do you hear her screaming at dinosaurs?
Well, what I think is funny is because they arrive at like the theater that they have tickets to go to, and
I think this is when he tells her it's dinosaurs, and she says something, and he says, "But you used to like dinosaurs," and she says, "Yeah, when I was 5."
I think she says 6, but
well, whatever.
Oh, and there's like some older people there that are like going in and stuff, and I don't know who it is, but someone says, oh, I can't believe you brought a kid to this. And it's like, well, yeah, she's still like underage, and so she is still a kid, but it's like she's old enough to understand what's going on. Like,
maybe she was supposed to be in school or something, and they're like, I can't believe you brought her.
I don't think so though, because
I'm just
Um,
trying to make it make sense.
no, I know. Surprise, surprise, this low budget movie isn't perfect.
Right.
There's gonna be. I
But
mean,
again, I was pretty impressed
I
watching it
agree,
again.
and like we can come up with some ideas for like how, like why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
But the real answer is, it's a low budget movie that probably didn't have too much, too many like rewrites or like double checkings of the script or anything. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I went and looked at it was written by like one person with like no revisions. Which again, a lot of the dialogue in the movie is actually very, um, very realistic. Like the father daughter stuff. Anyway, they arrive at the theater, and this is when we meet Uncle Leo. And I don't know what it is, but him and the daughter just give me such an off vibe. Like they feel like they're uncomfortable with each other, or they're a little too comfortable with each other.
I kind of got that too. I can't pinpoint if I like Uncle Leo or if he's a creeper.
That's what I thought. And I don't know, is he like literally her uncle, or is that just what they call him? Because they never really say.
I thought, and I don't know, maybe I made this up, but I thought at some point he was referenced on the mom's side.
Okay.
I may be wrong, but for some reason I feel like that. He says something about her mom or something. I don't remember. My sister, your mom, or something.
Oh yeah, and I did skip the very beginning scene because I completely forgot about this until I rewatched it. But there's actually a scene at the very beginning where we see an experiment in Japan where they inject a Komodo dragon with dinosaur DNA and turn it into a velociraptor, I think, and it kills a bunch of people. I completely forgot that was in there. But anyway, I mentioned it now. But that's when we actually first meet a couple people. Dr. Craig, who's kind of like the good guy of the bad guys. Like he's the one that he's the Ian Malcolm, is that his name from Jurassic Park? The one that's like life finds a way and like this is a terrible idea. Yeah. He's kind of that kind of guy.
Goldblum.
Yeah. And
was this like a Shudder or Sci-Fi original?
I think it's Sci-Fi. Jacobs is the last name of Jane and the dad. I was trying to look.
So basically, they're in this auditorium, and it's kind of like the scene in Jurassic Park where you've got the main guy up there telling you
and
instead of a
cane, he's got a wheelchair.
Yes.
And again, he also gave me very creepy vibes, especially with that like model lady that is up there. Yeah. Which the whole thing with this, it reminds me of. There's this panel from I think it's X-Men and Spider-Man or something, but there's a panel where Sauron, I don't know how to say his name, but he's basically a guy that combined himself with a pterodactyl. But he's like a scientist that did it to himself. And Spider-Man says, you know, you have all this technology and all these smarts, you could cure cancer. And his response is, I don't want to cure cancer, I want to make dinosaurs. And that's what Genetisharp reminds me of, which is the name of the company in this. Because they already made things. The model that comes out on stage was someone that was burned in a house fire when she was like a little girl, and they did like reconstructive surgery and stuff and used like skin grafts that they had invented to like make her look pretty, and she became a model because she was like so pretty. And if you have that kind of technology and can do that kind of stuff, why would your first instinct be to make dinosaurs? And it doesn't really, I mean, yeah, it's both like genetic kind of stuff, like biology type stuff, but those are so disjointed to me. Like, it just seems like a weird escalation to go to.
Yeah. Well, doesn't he stand up out of his wheelchair?
Yeah, we do get there. Yeah. So he's up on stage talking, and his name is Justin Jurisco, I think is how you say that last name, and he's like the CEO of Genetisharp. And so they did their biotechnology and medical therapy is what they say that they specialize in. And then, like Mom said, he's in his wheelchair and he stands up and walks again, which again is very impressive. But why would you not focus on that stuff and instead you're like, I'm gonna bring dinosaurs back from the dead?
I can walk again. Screw all the rest of you. We're
exactly.
gonna bring back dinosaurs. So this is a side note, but I just read a really, really good book, and I can't remember who the author was, but it's called Geneva, and it's kind of along the same lines where the main guy that runs it is in a wheelchair and then he can walk. Like it's like they have this technology.
Yeah.
They're trying to work on things like Alzheimer's and things like that. So if you're into that medical science type stuff, this is a very good book, and I will look up and tell you who the author is.
While you're doing that, I'm going to talk about this. So the daughter ends up leaving the auditorium because she's just like bored out of her mind, and
there's not. So they have like it kind of looks like hologram dinosaurs behind him when he's talking. So
Yeah, it's kind of it puts you in the mind of like a jumbotron type thing.
yeah,
It's like a big thing up behind him.
yeah,
Like it's not like right behind him. It's like up in the air, like at the kind of the top of the stage.
yeah. So Geneva is by Richard Armitage, and I highly recommend that book if you like this kind of stuff. No
But
dinosaurs in that one though.
but he says here that their flesh regeneration technology has helped a quarter of a million people,
Oh, okay.
which is also again very impressive. Why not focus on that? Why is your first instinct to make dinosaurs?
Because maybe that's not profitable, and making dinosaurs is.
And like you said, there's the dinosaur above him. When they first do that, they have the dinosaur roar, and again, it's just like it reminds me of like the Times Square Jumbotron or something, where it's just like a screen, like it's not that detailed. Yeah. I mean, like it's cool, but still,
yeah,
it's not like an actual like hologram or 3D thing. They all gasp when the dinosaur appears and roars.
Yeah,
like it's so dramatic.
Yeah.
And so after this, the kind of the
so
sides of the auditorium.
But Jane goes out and sits on a bench right outside of
yeah, and she's just like on her phone, presumably texting her boyfriend. She said she wanted to hang out with that day. But kind of the walls start to like kind of peel back, and there's glass behind it. And behind the glass, there's more sets of glass that are like glass cages that have dinosaurs in them. And they brought dinosaurs back to life.
Yeah.
And like Mom said, he says that they started with the cool ones, which is the carnivores. But what I want to point out is, later in the movie, whenever we see the warehouse, all those dinosaurs are still in the pods being made. Mm-hmm. And they say, well, what happens if we take them out? Are they just going to die? And they say, no, it depends on how strong their instinct to live is.
Right.
So I think they started with the carnivores, and that was like their first batch, and they're like, oh, these work. And then they went on to make everything else. But they weren't done yet. Like, they were still cooking in the oven, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense. Which that was which I know we're jumping ahead, but that was a pretty cool scene. With the pods of the dinosaurs.
Oh, and I wanted to point out here, the music that plays is 100% as close to the Jurassic Park theme as they can get without actually being the Jurassic Park theme.
Yes.
It feels...
I did notice that.
Yeah, all the music in this feels very, very much like, what if we take Jurassic Park and change it just enough we can't get sued?
Right.
Like, I literally think it has, like, that beginning sting, and then it changes after that so that they can't get in trouble, but it still sounds very Jurassic Park. Yeah, he says... Yeah, I put here, he says, we can make anything walk again, and then he gets out of his wheelchair, and then I think that's what leads him into talking about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also says here, it's not about making old men walk again, it's about cool.
There you go, that's your answer.
Yeah, but that's stupid, I'm sorry, but... I mean,
it is, but...
Are you telling me that bringing, like, regenerating people's skin is not going to make you money? Because you said maybe it's a money thing? Anyway, there's...
But if you've got the chance to bring back dinosaurs and be Jurassic Park and have that attraction for people, I mean, you really... Not that, like, what he did for the model doesn't matter, but, like... That's something that's never been done before. They can do skin grafts. They can do things like that now. So I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know.
But, like, the dinosaurs are...
To me, it just seems like a weird escalation.
Yeah.
But anyway...
And it's not how you go from fixing a human... I mean... I don't want to say fixing, because there wasn't anything wrong with her after the fire. Repairing her skin...
Yeah.
To...
I mean, there was, because things like that can, like, it can damage your nerve endings or where you can't feel pain.
But I don't want to say, I don't...
Yeah.
Everybody's beautiful in their own way, but, to go from that to we're going to inject DNA into a Komodo dragon and make dinosaurs. They could have made dragons. That would have been cool.
Age of Dragons? That sounds like a mobile game.
There is a book called, The Last China Zoo, The Last Zoo of China, and it's about a zoo full. It's basically Jurassic Park but with dragons. It's not a very good book.
Oh, and he said this is an exact quote, but he also says over 100 next door are ready for worldwide distribution. So presumably they are selling them to different people.
Yeah.
Which I wonder how much they're selling them for that they were able to sell 100 of them. Or maybe they're not selling them to people. Maybe they have like different facilities around the world they're going to put them in, like a theme park type thing.
Maybe.
Because they never clarify that. They just say they have some ready for worldwide distribution. They say...
Would you go to see Dinosaurs?
Yes and no. I think I would, like, I think it'd be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go see them. But, that's also really scary.
It is, yeah.
But, I mean, we see dangerous animals.
Yeah.
And, if you're talking about, like, actual real dinosaurs, like, in this movie, we'll get to it later, but, like, in this movie, in Jurassic Park, you shoot a dinosaur with a gun and it keeps going. Real life, you shoot a dinosaur with a gun and it's gonna die eventually. Like, especially with things like elephant rifles and stuff like that we have. Dinosaurs don't have bulletproof skin like they do in this movie, so probably I would go see real dinosaurs.
I want to see the tame little ones, but I don't want to see
like the petting zoo from Jurassic World.
Yeah. And the water ones are kind of cool.
I have a big figure of the...
But I want to see the ones that are going to eat
I think it's
me.
Mosasaurus from Jurassic World.
Anyway.
So they say that the way they control the dinosaurs is they have these sonic pulses, like these sound things that play that tell the dinosaur where to go. So they get this one that's, I think it's a velociraptor, but you know, it's not like an accurate velociraptor. It's the big ones, like Jurassic Park style ones. And it's named Larry, and they're using sonic pulses to make it walk around. It's the only named dinosaur in this whole movie.
I missed that its name was Larry.
The wheelchair guy talks about it. And I refer to him as Larry throughout the rest of my notes, too. So, anyway, they get Larry out, put him up, they bring out a different dinosaur, and then when they're trying to get that one up, it's like annoying the other dinosaurs, and specifically it's annoying Larry. So, we see Larry burst out of his cage, and it's one of the worst things of CGI in this movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? It comes through the glass thing.
Yes.
It's so bad. But I think this is one of the worst CGI in the movie.
I don't know, the flying dinosaurs were bad.
Yeah, but
bad.
I just think this is pretty bad.
When they pick the guy up, that's ridiculous.
That I will agree with you there.
Is that Uncle Leo?
No.
Okay.
So anyway, they end up spraying they spray the rest of the dinosaurs with sleeping gas, but Larry breaks out. And so they put the building on lockdown, and Larry starts going through and breaking Larry is out, and he slashes or something. He breaks through like a electrical box, and that causes the rest of the dinosaurs' cages to be opened. Not the ones that are in the warehouse that we talked about earlier, just the ones that are there. Which I think there's 13, they said.
There's a lot.
I think there's 13 is what they said.
The size of the auditorium, it seemed like there was a lot.
Which I don't think, which this is not like a big thing, but like the Carnotaurus, the big one that eats people, I don't think there's a big enough cage for it. Is there? Like I feel like all the cages were...
What, did they have a cage with flying ones in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so yeah, building goes on lockdown, he breaks that.
Where did the Brontosaurus come from? Because there wasn't a cage big enough for that one either, was there?
The Brontosaurus isn't until later. It's one of the warehouse ones, isn't it?
Maybe.
Because it's not a carnivore either.
I know.
Anyway, so this is when, people are dying and stuff, and they hear Jane scream. And yeah.
They hear a scream, and they're like, oh, I heard that too. Yeah. That's Jane.
So, this is what I wrote in my notes. Guy gets grabbed by Pteranodon, and it looks like a PNG. Like, it just looks like a still picture. Like, the guy, it literally just looks like it just looks like a flat silhouette.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Which, you said that you thought that was pretty bad, too.
Yeah.
So, Leo tases one of the dinosaurs, and they manage to get out, and they go to where Jane was sitting, and they find blood on her chair.
Which they just knew was Jane's.
I don't know. I don't think they say that.
Well, they act like it, though.
Yeah. And how did they know which chair she was sitting on?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, how do they know that was her seat?
Yeah, and this is where the fire axe comes into play. Which, I did not catch it. Did he get a second fire axe?
See, I didn't catch that either.
I don't think he
I thought
did.
he did
I,
because that's what
I
we've
would have.
always joked
I know. I
about.
would have sworn he did, but I didn't catch.
I
I don't
didn't
think he
either.
did this time. Like I think we just got something mixed up the first
And
time.
I thought, so then I thought maybe it was later on when they were in the mall
That's
or
what
the
I thought
warehouse,
too.
and it wasn't then either.
Also, we'll get to it, but the mall was so underutilized. Anyway, um, we get a recreation of the kitchen scene from Jurassic Park with the Velociraptor,
What did they? What
where
did
Jane's
he?
in a like a chemistry lab.
What was she in? What
I
did
think
he?
it's like a chemistry lab.
No, what did he lock her in?
It's a safe.
That seems stupid to me. I'm sorry, but that seems really dumb to me.
To lock them in a safe.
Yeah.
I agree.
What if he didn't come back?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, that was kind of off subject, but I thought it was stupid. So
what do you mean he? She puts herself in it.
I thought.
No, she climbs in and pulls the door
I
closed
thought her
behind
dad helped her get in there.
it.
Oh well,
They
anyway,
haven't been back up yet.
it's like this big white safe with a glass front on
Yeah.
it, and I just thought it was stupid that.
Yeah. But anyway, it genuinely is like a recreation of the Jurassic Park kitchen scene where she's like laying, or like sitting at one end of the counter and it's at the other looking for her.
Yeah, and it's even the same kind of dinosaur, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Velociraptor.
I mean, it's supposed to be the same kind of dinosaur.
And so the dad ends up killing Larry, the first one that broke out, and he ends up finding Jane locked in the safe, and he says the police know, the firefighters know, everybody knows. Glad he included the firefighters in there, because it's important that they know. Which we never see any other firefighters in the movie.
No.
Because I thought maybe that was going to be like something to do with, since he worked in the fire department, there was going to be... No. And so the dad says, I'll just wait here until people come find us and we can get you out of the safe. And she says, no, go find an exit.
That's what it is. I was thinking he left her in
the
safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she says, no, go find an exit. I'm okay. I'm safe in the safe.
How was there any air in there?
I don't know. You know what it made me think of, though? I don't know if you've seen this one. I think it's the second Saw, the nerve gas house.
Gosh, it's been so long.
I've
seen it.
Yeah, but Jigsaw tells the main guy, your son's in a safe place, and then at the end of the movie you find out who's literally in a safe the whole time. It made me think of that. Yeah. But anyway, so... 16 dinosaurs. 16 dinosaurs escaped. That's how many were in the things. And the police get a call from inside the building, and of course, it's the dad. And he talks to Chief Dawson of the police. And at first they think he's just making stuff up until he sends a photo of the perfectly encapsulated CGI dinosaur.
And this guy thinks that he is like the god of Los Angeles because he was a firefighter. Yeah. I mean, like, he's very...
It feels like he has the confidence of, like, John Wick or, like, the guy from Taken or something like that. Where, like, he's like, I know what's going on. I know the back end. I can do anything. And he's just not that. He's just a firefighter.
Right. Not that we're putting down firefighters.
No, of course not.
But it's like...
And I don't know about there, but a lot of places firefighters are volunteers.
Right, and it's like...
which I'm sure in a big city like that, that's not the case, but...
But that's funny. We were somewhere the other day, and there was a sign that said, outside a firehouse, and it said, help wanted, what did it say? Help wanted, crazy hours, no pay, cool hat. Like, that's awesome.
Were you saying something else?
He was so cocky about, I'm a firefighter. Well, no, you're not. You told us at the beginning you were furloughed.
The whole thing is, though, with that, like, he is, like, cocky like that and stuff, but it never feels disingenuous or, like, he's still a likable character.
He is, but
it's just funny.
So over the
top.
Like,
which it makes me wonder, like I said, this feels like a first draft skit, but I do genuinely wonder if he was like a police officer or something earlier on in like an earlier draft and they changed it for some reason. Like, I don't know why they would change it, but for some reason they decided to change it, and that's why it doesn't.
Maybe, but it's just funny.
And
I was really disappointed about the second act not being there. So
yeah, because I swear he grabbed
need to explain
one.
that. So when we first watched the movie.
Did we watch it on DVD the first time?
I don't remember. Probably.
I wonder. I don't know, but I wonder if maybe there's a scene cut or something.
Maybe. As I didn't watch it on DVD this time.
I didn't either. I watched it on Tubi, I think.
That's what I watched it
Yeah.
on. But so one thing we've always
So if you guys want to watch this, it's on Tubi.
Yeah. So one thing we've always joked about with this movie is
he can find a fire axe where he's
right.
at.
I mean, he's a firefighter, so he knows where there's a fire axe. But he uses one, and then all of a sudden there's another one right around the corner.
And I wonder if us like misremembering that was just the joke escalating, because when he does have the fire axe, Leo offers to give him his gun or something, and he says, "I'm covered," and turns around and there's a fire axe on the wall behind him. And I think maybe it started as that, like, how did he know that fire axe was there? But I could have sworn that he got a second one in the movie, but he doesn't. So Jacobs, the dad, ends up putting a propane tank in the elevator, and then he climbs up the elevator cable. And from what I've looked at in stuff, you cannot climb those cables in real life because it's like sharp, like it'll rip your hands apart. And also, I don't know, because the elevator crashes, but like I do know for a fact that, like, from what I've heard, like, it's very unrealistic that when you shoot a propane tank, it explodes.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen in real life, because there's not, like, an actual... most of the time, there's not enough of an actual spark to actually alight it. And so I don't know if it would explode from being dropped down an elevator shaft, maybe. But I just wanted to say that.
I don't know. Like, maybe if the mechanics inside the elevator caught fire, then it would explode.
But anyway, so one of the dinosaurs follows him into the elevator, and he ends up doing that, and the dinosaur weighs so much that the elevator falls. Again, I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know how much a dinosaur would have weighed.
I don't know either.
Especially with, I think this dinosaur is supposed to be another velociraptor, and real velociraptors are not that big, first of all. But second of all, I still don't think they would have weighed that much.
I think an elevator limit's like 2,200 pounds or something.
Yeah, I don't know I think so. I don't know what it is in this movie, but, like, I just, again, doesn't matter. It doesn't really hurt the plot or anything. Something I was thinking about. And
we are tearing this movie apart, but we both really liked it.
So anyway, the elevator crashes and explodes, and the dinosaur survives. All that, and the dinosaur survives.
He's got tough skin.
And, like, it looks unharmed. Like, it just gets up out of the wreck. It's like nothing.
It's because it's CGI. Fire's not going to hurt it.
So then Jacobs, like I said, he's hanging off the cable. He just jumps in through an open door onto another floor. Elevator doors don't just stand open like that.
Right.
Anyway, again, it's not that important. It's funny to me.
What's funny about this one is you can tell that it was supposed to be a serious movie.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to take it seriously.
And like we said, like, the script is not terrible. Like, a lot of the lines and stuff are really good. So, the floor he's on just so happens to be the floor that some of the Janetta Sharp people are on. So, there's Maroon Shirt guy whose name I wrote, but I can't read. I think maybe it says Dave or Davey. Dr. Craig, who I said is, like, the good guy of the bad guys. He's the one that's like, oh, don't do this, stop. And then also the CEO's there, the guy that was in the wheelchair. They're all on this floor. And the Maroon Shirt guy is, like, the, like, private security for the wheelchair guy. And so anyway, Jacobs ends up meeting with them. Jacobs is the dad. Jacob ends up meeting with them, and they end up finding a panic room that the Maroon Shirt guy leads them to, I'm pretty sure. And there's already a family in there. And that's when we find out, we thought he was leading them to an exit, but it actually turns out he was leading them to a panic room so that they could hide. And so that kind of makes everyone mad and stuff, but the panic room is locked and will not open until the emergency is over, essentially, is what they say. And so anyway, while they're talking to this family in the panic room, they end up getting cornered by a dinosaur that ends up killing Craig, which was like the good guy. The rest of them get past, but Craig gets eaten. And this is where they end up meeting with Chief Dawson and the other police who have made their way to the building. And Why did I write SWAT concussion grenade? Do they throw one at dinosaurs? I don't know. I just wrote SWAT concussion grenade.
I think they do.
Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I just wrote SWAT concussion grenade.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay. Well, this is actually where we found out the dinosaur survived the elevator, but it doesn't matter. I already said that. The police cut the power to the building. What? No! What did I literally wrote? What does cutting power accomplish? That doesn't do anything.
I don't know.
Were they afraid the dinosaurs were going to take the elevator?
No, it already blew up.
Well, they didn't know that. Anyway, at this exact moment, Leo finds Jane and cannot get her out because the power just went out.
But she would have been dead from lack of oxygen at this point.
And then Leo says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll just wait for the emergency power to kick on." And then it kicks on. What was the point in cutting the power? It did nothing. Genuinely, there was nothing would have changed if they didn't cut the power. Because literally the scene goes, "Oh, the power's out. I'll wait for the emergency power to come back on. Oh, the emergency power's on. Let me let you out." So... I wrote Doug dies. I don't know how he dies. That's the guy I thought was Davey, was Doug. I wrote that really bad. So anyway, he ends up getting eaten. I don't remember where. I don't remember by what. But he ends up dying, which is kind of cathartic because he's kind of an a-hole.
Yeah.
And then this is when we see the big dinosaur, which I think is supposed to be a Carnotaurus in the auditorium, which is similar to a T-Rex, but it's got horns. Like little nubs. And so they end up, the dinosaurs end up breaking out, and this is the first time we see the news helicopter. And as the dinosaurs are breaking
stupid.
out, I agree. No, I agree.
Get closer.
The police start opening fire on the dinosaurs breaking out, and I already mentioned this earlier. The bullets just bounce off. That is not how it works. Like, even, like, the closest thing we have in modern day to, like, a dinosaur like this would be, like, a crocodile. You can shoot through a crocodile skin.
Or an elephant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
and, like,
that.
you know, small arms fire is, I just use crocodile because that's, like, most close to dinosaur.
Yeah, but you mentioned an elephant rifle.
Yeah, which, I mean, obviously the police are going to have elephant rifles. And, like, I guess small arms fire would not necessarily break through, like, crocodile skin. Like, if you have, like, a 22 or whatever. But the police, there's SWAT there and stuff that have, like, machine guns. I'm pretty sure. Or at least bigger rifles. Yeah. That's going to do something. Like, they're not just going to storm out. And you might be right here, because there might be a brontosaurus in this scene where they all break out. I can't remember if that's till later.
Outside the mall.
Okay.
When they're in that, like, alleyway. Because I think it may hit it may be the one that hits the helicopter first.
It's not.
Okay.
But we can talk about it.
I remember thinking the helicopter was awfully close to that dinosaur, but...
So anyway, now the whole city's going on lockdown, which I don't know really what that entails because the whole time we still see cars on the road and stuff. But Leo and Jane get outside just in time to meet up with, Gabe is the dad's first name. And so they get in Gabe's car and Leo gets on his, I think it's a motorcycle or a moped or something. I don't remember exactly what it is. But he gets on his and they're being chased by a dinosaur and Uncle Leo splits off and we don't really know where he went for a minute. And
I think he was trying to protect Jane and take the dinosaur somewhere else.
But it didn't work. The dinosaur continued to chase their car.
I know.
But so I think Gabe, like the dad, had gotten a gun from Chief Dawson, like a shotgun.
Of course.
And he's in
the... just going to give random citizens a gun.
And again, like you said earlier, they talk about how Jane hasn't learned how to drive yet. He is making Jane drive through a city full of traffic, even though it's supposed to be on lockdown, while they're being chased by a dinosaur, so he can sit in the back seat. I think is he in the back seat?
I think so.
So he can shoot out the windows with a shotgun. Anyway, so he's trying to give her a driving lesson while they're driving. This is funny.
I will say with cars on the road, if they just went on lockdown, maybe people have to get home.
Yeah. I know, it's funny to me.
I know.
And
I think I do think that it's funny that I would guess
but I do
supposed to
think,
be 15 and she like
yeah.
doesn't know how to drive at all. I mean,
But it's also California, and I don't know how the laws
well,
work
that's
there. I don't know
true.
if they have
That's
driver's ed
true.
in school and stuff like we
You
do
know what?
here.
She might be older than that. And they talk about how she didn't get her license.
I don't know if they do.
I don't remember.
But even if not, I don't know if California like has. And again, if you live in Los Angeles, you may not need to get your license.
No, that's true.
It might be better to walk everywhere there.
Not if you're running from dinosaurs.
Anyway, so she's swerving around because she's never driven before, and they're being chased by a giant dinosaur. I think it's the Carnotaurus, and he ends up dropping the gun out the window. And this scene is so bad. I'm sorry, but it is. Like I love this movie again, but this scene is so bad. She like is moving the car back and forth and whatever, and like he like jumps out the window like halfway and then drops the gun. And their car ends up running out of gas, like right when they turn down like an alley where there's no one else. And
so Jane is upset because
yeah,
I told you.
And so they both get out of the car, and it seems like the dinosaur was right on their tail, and then all of a sudden now it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's still following them, but it's a ways enough back for Leo to pull up and say, "Hey, you guys get out of here. I'll distract it for as long as I can," and then drive straight into getting eaten.
Yeah.
This is also like a very funny beat, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but if it is, it's a very funny beat of dark humor where he goes, "I'll hold it off as long as I can," and then he turns around and drives towards it, and it chomps him off the bike.
Right.
It's so funny. So of course they're still being followed by this dinosaur because it just ate someone and it's still following them. And this is when they go to the mall. And literally all that happens is, and Jane and Gabe kind of get split up, where Jane's slightly ahead of Gabe.
Yeah.
Which again was unnecessary because they meet up like right after. So I don't really think.
I thought she went off with another group of people and he's looking for her.
She kind of does, but he catches up to her pretty fast. Anyway.
Now, I do have to say, this scene in the mall where they're being chased by dinosaurs, that was the most ridiculous scene.
I agree, but literally...
like, the dinosaur could have gotten... Like, he was getting all these other people, but not Gabe, like... Or
yeah,
Jane.
yeah.
Was it chasing Jane? I was just like, I'm not sure about all that.
But it's funny because literally what happens at the mall is they go in through this one door, they're in the mall, like Jane is. She runs through this exit with some other people, and then... Excuse me. Once, literally, she just, like, runs through and then goes out another door. They're in the mall for, like, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And maybe they only had, like, one day to shoot in the mall or something, but the mall is so underutilized here. Because the first time I watched this and they went to the mall, and really the second time, too, because I couldn't remember exactly everything that happened, I was like, oh, cool, this is, like, a cool, like, set piece, like the mall. They can mess with some of the stores and stuff. No, they literally just run through, like, the main hallway of the mall and then leave. Yeah. And so Jane ends up in a parking garage. And she's with a guy that ends up getting eaten in the parking garage, I think by like a velociraptor.
That sounds right. But outside of this is where the alley's at, right? Where all this other stuff's going on.
Yeah, I believe so.
So there's an alley and there's cops with guns and the news helicopter is... This is what I was talking about.
This isn't yet, I don't think.
I thought it was over the alley.
Maybe, but I don't know if...
Okay. I'm gonna shut up now.
Okay, so I have... Oh, yeah, you are correct. I put Pteranodon fights big guy as police pull up.
I like your note.
Thank you. So I think the big guy, what I meant there was the Carnotaurus, is fighting a Pteranodon. And one thing that I want to mention is earlier when they first got to the theater, Gabe had told Jane, Pteranodons are cool because instead of eating the meat right away, they take it back to their nest, and then they can have it whenever they want. And that comes back into play later.
Okay.
But she does tell him that, or he tells her that. I mean, and. So we also find out here, we switch back and we see some of the people that were working at Genetic Corp, and we find out the warehouse dinosaurs have 1 hour until they're released. And this is where we get the line of like, well, are they just going to die? And it depends on how strong their will to live is.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
The dinosaurs are in There's
Sci-fi.
another movie that's like this, and I cannot remember what it's like, but they're in like pods, like
Are
kind
you
of
thinking of
like.
X-Men with Wolverine?
No, I don't think I've seen that. I've seen X Men, but there's another movie where there's a bunch of them like that. But it's kind of puts you in the mind of like a womb, like, and it's all these
Yeah.
different
But of course
dinosaurs.
it's like glass and metal.
Yeah, but they're
I,
just kind of floating in the liquid, and
I wonder what movie you're thinking of. Because I can, I'm really into comics, and there's a bunch of comic movies that have that kind of stuff.
I can't
So I wonder what you're thinking of. But like, for example, like Bizarro's in one of those in one of my favorite comic series, which is Forever Evil, where like Lex Luthor and Bizarro and um, uh, Black Adam, Black Manta, and all them kind of make like a dark Justice League basically to save the real Justice League. Oh, Captain Cold's on it too, who is one of my favorite. I liked his redemption stuff. Um, but there's also a lot of that stuff in like the Young Justice TV show because Superboy's a clone in that. Um, but anyway, back to this movie, and if you think of that, let me know. But this is the part where Gabe flashes his badge, and they let him take a shotgun from the police car and let him go inside the building. Um, and so,
Oh,
uh,
you know what I was thinking of?
huh?
You're gonna laugh at me. Ernest Scared Stupid. The pods
Oh
on the
yeah,
train.
yeah.
Completely different than these kind of pods.
Those are gross.
They are. That movie used to scare me so much when I was a kid.
I don't. I'm sure it did like scare me at some point, but it always kind of grossed me out more than scared me. But like grossed me out in a way where I was fascinated with it.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And this is the part with the news helicopter. And do you want to talk about it? It's the big dinosaur that grabs them, the
So
Carnotaurus.
there's a news helicopter, and it keeps wanting to get. It's a lady reporter, and she's got a cameraman with her, and then the guy that's driving the helicopter. And I don't know, do you drive helicopters?
Fly,
Flying the
pilot.
helicopter,
I don't know what the.
piloting the helicopter. Um, and she keeps telling me, she's like, get closer. And there's this 30-foot dinosaur standing there. And the cameraman's like, he kind of looks like he's like, no, I don't really want to get
Yeah,
any closer. And they get closer, and the dinosaur grabs the helicopter and it explodes.
it's also very funny, and I don't know if it was intentionally funny, but it is very funny. Like
And this is the scene I was talking about where the velociraptor picks the person up because it's in the alley, or not velociraptor.
Pteranodon.
Yeah, in the alley, it swoops down and gets somebody.
Um,
And it was just a ridiculous looking, like, with the sky in the background. It just looks so fake.
oh yeah, and also I did before Jane ends up in the parking garage. She also got chased through a bar, which isn't really important, but I think that's where the guy that gets eaten met up
Oh
with her.
yeah.
Um, which again, there's like all these like kind of cool sets that they run through that it's just like they're there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, but where was I at? So while she's in the parking garage, she ends up cornered in like this cage thing in the corner, being like a velociraptor's jumping at her. And I don't know this for sure, and I looked in the credits and didn't see it credited anywhere, but I personally think that the velociraptor at this point looks stop motion. I don't know if you noticed that or thought of that, but I thought it looked I instead of CGI, I thought it looked stop motion.
Huh.
And maybe it wasn't, maybe it was just CGI, but it looked stop motion to me.
I was kind of multitasking when I was watching, so.
Um so this is when Jane and Gabe meet back up, and I don't remember how. I think the Velociraptor might just leave Jane alone
Yeah.
when she traps herself. So they meet back up, and they get chased some more, and they end up in a clothing store. And this is when we flash back, and the warehouse dinosaurs are breaking out. And then we flash back again, and the they find some weapons, and their weapons are a wooden plank and a hockey stick. And I think
It's so funny when Jane picks it up. She's like, "Yeah, I'm ready," and she's got this hockey stick, and I'm like,
because I think she makes a joke about like I always wanted to play or something.
yeah, like that's gonna do a lot about against a.
I know, and that was my thought process too. Is the two things they grab are really blunt instruments.
Yeah.
um, Which, I mean, hey, bullets don't break through its skin, so...
Maybe you could knock it out with a hockey stick.
Which I think it was Larry was the one he cut the head off of with the fire axe.
I think so. Poor Larry.
Which it was kind of... I mean, it wasn't like amazing CGI, but it was kind of grisly.
Yeah. We've made fun of a lot of this movie, but it was one I enjoyed watching again.
Yeah. So, they end up... Or at least Jane ends up on the roof. Yeah, Gabe and Jane end up separated, and Jane ends up on the roof. Because they end up actually fighting the raptors with their plank and hockey stick. And so...
But when does the old guy show up?
That's what I was going to say. Jane is on the roof, and she's, like, waving down because Justin's helicopter is coming by, which Justin is the CEO. The guy that was in the wheelchair. And so they... I don't know... Do they actually fully land the helicopter, or they just kind of hover it and he gets out?
I think they land.
Okay.
Because don't they... I don't know.
Because they land and then take off, or they hover and then...
I bet they landed
anyway,
so he could get out.
Somehow they drop him off. I don't know if they land and then take back off or what. But anyway, he gets off. And so they go downstairs to try and save Gabe. And... This is when the second group of dinosaurs converges on, like, the police that are down in the alley because, they followed the trail of the previous dinosaurs, is what they said.
Yeah.
Which, if it took the dinosaurs, the first set, that long to get there, why did it take so much of a shorter time for them to get there?
Maybe there's no people to eat along the way.
We
just have Uncle Leo distracting them.
Maybe the city went into lockdown. Okay. Which, my thing is, 16 dinosaurs is a lot easier to get somewhere than 100, over 100 that were in the warehouse. So it's just funny to me that it takes such a short time for the other ones to get there.
You know what it kind of reminded me of, though? The scene, one of the end scenes in Cabin in the Woods, where it's like wave after wave of evil.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
And don't get me wrong, I love this movie. It's just, it's not... I don't know how well thought out of a movie it was.
I mean, I think a lot of the problem with this movie is it's trying to be a serious movie, and it's just not. Like, if it was touted as an action comedy, like, it is so funny.
Even then, though, I don't know, because a lot of times when they set out to make something so bad it's good, it ends up being bad because they
that's true.
They overly make it. So I think this being like... genuinely, there are some funny bits in it that you can tell are supposed to be funny, but sometimes something happens, like Uncle Leo getting eaten, and you're like, am I supposed to laugh or not? Like, I can't tell. And I think that's what's great about this movie, and that's what's great about a lot of really bad, like quote-unquote bad horror movies, is when, like, you kind of can't draw the line on what is supposed to be serious and not. Like, those are my favorite kinds. I think that's why I also like Ghost Shark so much. And one thing I will say about this movie... Another problem that a lot of, like, actual bad movies have is they'll have, like, way too much, like, downtime or nothing happening. Which is okay to have downtime in your movie. Like, in Final Destination, they have the scene where they drink, like, the seltzer water and stuff like that. You could have, like, breathing room in your movies, but I just mean, like, there's no... It never feels like it's a slog.
Right.
It grabs your attention and it holds it the whole time. It never feels like you're like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah. Or when is it? What are
Because we have watched some that are like that.
Like, when's it gonna pick back up? When's something gonna happen? Yeah.
So as they're making their way back up to the roof, because they met back up with Gabe, Justin talks about how, like, his leg is killing him. He's just like, leave me behind. You guys are getting slowed down by me. Just leave me behind and go. Which.
Were they being chased at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay. I thought there was a dinosaur behind him, and that's why he said that.
Might be, but I don't know. I think the building is collapsing.
Of course it is!
Yeah, and I don't remember if they say why. I don't know if... Oh, I think the police are going to blow the building to try to kill the dinosaurs inside. I think they say that, and then he keeps asking Chief Dawson for more time.
Okay.
And Chief Dawson is like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm extending it all I can. And this police chief is putting his job on the line for this random firefighter he's never met. Anyway, Which, again, we didn't really mention this earlier, but when he calls from the inside, it reminds me of the scene in Die Hard where he calls and they're like, oh, we have a man on the inside. Except in that, he actually is a police officer. He may not be in the right area because I think in that he's in LA and he's an NYPD officer.
Yeah.
And he's still a police officer, though. So, like, yeah, you can be like, oh, I have a man inside. But I'm pretty sure Chief Dawson literally says we have a man inside in this. The man you have inside is a furloughed firefighter.
Right, right.
Anyway.
And again, nothing wrong with firefighters.
No.
But...
So this is when the building starts to collapse. And so Gabe and Jane almost make it on the helicopter, and then Jane gets grabbed by a pteranodon.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this next part? I feel like I've talked a lot on this one.
Oh my gosh, is this where it flies her to the Hollywood sign?
Mm-hmm.
That's how Dawson remembered it was Hollywood.
Oh, and the building collapses, by the way.
The building collapses. Justin does not get out. And
I wrote here military, so the military was trying to bomb the building, and the police chief was holding them off as long as he could.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And, wasn't this the parking garage?
No, this is like the clothing store.
Okay.
You remember because at one point Jane is like hiding in like a changing booth and one of the dinosaurs goes by.
Right. That's right.
Which seems like that can actually be pretty tense in this movie. Like there's still some, I don't know if I'd call them scary, but like there's still some like tense scenes in this movie.
I mean, I think with a higher budget they could have been scary themes.
Yeah.
I mean,
watch Jurassic Park and then watch this and you can see.
Yeah. But I feel like
again,
a lot of the camera things and stuff they used in
that's what I was gonna say.
Copied from Jurassic. I shouldn't say copied, but based on Jurassic Park.
I feel like this, and there is a flat out Jurassic Park reference. The scene where the maroon shirt guy dies, the guy that I wrote the name really bad of, Doug. The scene where he dies, we then pan over to like this like experiment thing that's sitting there that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. We never see anything else about it again. But the name on there is the name of the guy in Jurassic Park who steals the vials with like the dinosaur embryos. And so that's a reference to like a straight up reference to Jurassic Park. So I feel like a lot of the scenes in this movie that's like, oh, they stole that from Jurassic Park. It's kind of walking that line of, is this homage or is this like just straight up copying?
Right.
But I feel like this movie differentiated itself enough from Jurassic Park that it like, in my mind, they're homages.
Yeah, I can see that. But anyway, so this flying dinosaur takes Jane up to the Hollywood sign, which she's like the only person in the whole movie that gets taken by a dinosaur and doesn't get eaten.
And it specifically puts her on the O. I do want to say that.
Yeah. And then what happens?
So while she's,
I'm like, my brain is fried today.
While she's on the O, I don't know. The pteranodon drops her off and then flies off, and just leaves her there. And so,
which I think could have made sense if it had a nest there, which it would have had to build its nest really quickly.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they wanted to use the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
Which I wonder how they did that. I wonder if it was a soundstage or how they did that. But
I don't know.
My experience with the Hollywood sign is the Vinewood side from GTA, and so which GTA they've actually used that to like train real like self-driving cars and stuff on how to drive through Los Angeles because it's such a good recreation of it.
Wow.
And so I've never actually been there or know exactly what they look like, but from what I've seen, they actually do have like ladders up the side and a little platform at the top, like in the movie.
Interesting.
Which again, I've never been there. I don't really know. I did do research one time on how big they were because I was using it in a story I was writing. I was using the H from it. Anyway,
I'll ask my friend in California if he's ever been there.
That'd be smart.
He probably has.
He should guest star on one of our episodes if he ever wants to. We could do like a Zoom call thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because he reads a lot of horror.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, the pteranodon ends up attacking the helicopter.
Which has Gabe in it.
Yes, it has Gabe and the pilot, and I think that's it. I think it's just those two. And I'll get back to the pilot because there's something I want to point out.
See the one? Is this the movie where he throws the helicopter at Gabe and hits him in the face with it?
No.
Not throws the helicopter. Golly, throws the headset at him.
No.
Okay. Must have been a different movie I was watching.
So anyway, Gabe ends up jumping out of the helicopter or whatever, and he ends up landing on the second L. I think he's like hanging off the side, if I remember right. And then the helicopter's like going down and somehow doesn't break or explode or anything, but just perfectly lands in the branch of the Y, like in between the two top bits. So Gabe jumps and climbs into the helicopter, and guess what? The pilot nowhere to be seen. There's no body, no nothing, no blood, nothing. The pilot is just gone. And um, I'll get to another thing. He ends up distracting the pteranodon to come after him, and when it sticks its face through the heli, he climbs out the back and it like pushes further in, and he stands there and puts his finger on it, and then he takes, I think, or does he? No, he stands there and then he puts his finger up to it, and then he pushes it, and the whole thing just falls off the Y with the pteranodon inside of it. Like if it was balanced that haphazardly, it would have fallen when he climbed through it.
Right, right.
Which, don't get me wrong, it is kind of. I don't know if it's supposed to be like kind of humorous, like taking a jab at stuff like that, or if it's trying to be serious with it. But it is kind of funny. And then so.
I wonder if there's like if things like that are maybe references to other movies. That
I don't know because I feel like I've seen that before. I feel like I've seen the finger thing before. I just don't know from what. But anyway, he ends up jumping over, and they both end up on the O, and that's the end of the movie.
They're kind of looking out over LA,
and she had a dinosaur keychain that she got way earlier in the movie, and he goes, "I got this, even though you probably don't want it anymore." And she's like, "I still like dinosaurs," or she says something like that, and takes it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I really like this movie. I know we had a lot of nitpicky things to say about it, but it's one of those movies that just like it's so dumb you gotta love it.
Right. And it's not one of those that's like dumb humor. Like you know me, I'm very specific on what kind of humor I like. So it's not like dumb in that way. And I think they had a good idea.
And I do wonder, genuinely, I wonder if they had advertised it as more of like a spoof movie than like a serious like horror movie, if it would have been like better off.
Yeah.
Because it almost has those elements in there where it kind of parodies stuff from Jurassic Park and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like if the finger thing is a reference to another movie, like how absurd that is. Like maybe it is amazing art and it was just
right.
It was advertised incorrectly.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good movie. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. It's not one you have to sit down and watch.
Yeah.
Like focus 100% on. Like I was multitasking when I was watching this one.
Well, and I was too, and that's why I wondered if that's why I asked you at the beginning if you had caught when he got the second fire axe, because I thought maybe I just missed it, but maybe he only does get the one fire axe and we were just conflating.
But so we recommend this one. Don't take it too seriously. Just enjoy it for what
I was gonna say enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
I think it's got like terrible ratings.
Probably, but
like I think does IMDb to 10 stars?
Yeah.
I think it's like a 4 point something or a 3 point something.
It's probably not the worst I've seen.
No. But anyway, I really liked it. So next week we're doing
2020's movie Becky.
Yeah, 2020.
That stars Lulu Wilson and Kevin James. And then the following week we are doing Hatchet, and I don't remember what.
No, we're doing games first, aren't we?
No, Hatchet.
Okay.
Because then the next week would have been a book, but we're doing games.
Okay, so Becky, Hatchet, and then we're going to do some games.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit different than the other game one we did.
Yes. It's not like a specific board game. We're taking some games that both of us found online that we like, and we're just going to play some of those. Yeah. They're kind of word games. It's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, it should be fun. And then in March, which I think is so fun, we are doing the Leprechaun movies 1 through 6. So we're seen those.
Yeah,
so it's going to be interesting.
We're only doing the original series. We're not doing like the reboot or the requel or whatever, because I think there's Leprechaun Returns and Leprechaun Origins that are both like one's like a prequel and it was written like way after, and one I think the other one is a requel, which is like a remake sequel, so it's a sequel to only the first movie, because those later movies got insane. But yeah, we're only doing like the first 6, which is Leprechaun. I think it's just Leprechaun 2. And then is Leprechaun 3 in space? No,
I have no
Leprechaun
idea.
4 is in space. So what's Leprechaun
I
3?
have no idea.
Anyway, they just got goofier as they went. There was Leprechaun in the Hood, and then there was Leprechaun Back to the Hood. So they're really goofy, dumb movies, kind of like this one, but they're so fun. And so we're gonna do 2 per week in March,
Yes.
and then I don't know because there's one more week in March, so I don't know. Is that our game? Is that gonna be the beginning of
Game and
March?
then 3
Okay.
leprechauns.
So anyway, that's the current plan.
Uh, yeah. So we will see you next week when we are talking about Becky.